Attention pro athletes. Want to secure your financial legacy and thrive off the field? Oakbridge Wealth Management, led by wealth manager Chris Anicetti, is your dedicated financial planning ally. But don't take it from me. Take it from the Dallas Cowboys' Tyler Biadasz. He says, Chris set goals financially and has been incredibly impactful in my journey in the NFL. Experience our customized, comprehensive approach, trusted by top NFL players. Don't leave your financial success to chance. Connect with Chris on Instagram at OakbridgeWM_Anicetti. That's OakbridgeWM_ANICETE, and let Oakbridge Wealth Management guide you across the goal line.
First sheet again, big opening, pass 5, pass 10, Perko to man, and he goes all the way to the 15-yard line. 17 yards on the carry.
Welcome back to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag and Oakbridge Wealth Management. Once again, I'm Matt Perkins, joined, as always, by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Bernie, how are we doing today?
Typical Monday morning, sad but happy to be here with you. And the Jets stunk. The Badgers didn't come through. Man, I just want to go to a bowl game.
Yeah. That's
all I want for Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa and every holiday that there possibly is just a bowl game.
Yeah, I am personally... Yeah, I'm not in a good place, Bernie. I'm really not in a good place. Between that, if you've been listening for a while, you know that my wife and I are Vandy season ticket holders. They've lost 8 in a row now, I think, something like that. They lost again this weekend. UCLA lost again this weekend. My Bills play tonight against the Broncos, and I have no faith that they're going to win. I'm very... I guess I'm accepting the fact that I'm just going to be over for the rest of the season for all my football teams. So it is what it is. Bernie, we're going to be in the house for Nebraska this weekend, which I'm just excited to see you this weekend. What happens in the game is still very much up for grabs, seeing as what happened this past weekend. But we're here to talk about this past weekend here on Monday Morning Fullback. Before we do, want to remind all the good folks tuning in across the nation, nay, across the world, that we are presented by BetOnline.ag, where they continue to be your number one source for all of your online sports wagering needs. You name it, they've got it over there at BetOnline. Head on over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit with our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV, BetOnline, where the game starts. Bernie, Monday Morning Fullback, you know the drill. I think we might switch it up a little bit today, though. We're supposed to do the good, the bad, and the ugly, but this was one of the ugliest games I can remember in my
what's nuts?
In my quarter of a century as a Badger fan.
Listen, it wasn't that ugly. It wasn't.
The offense was.
No, hold on. It was like the most vanilla you've ever seen a team play. But they moved the ball, couldn't score. There's just so much dumb things happening that ugly. It's they fumbled 100 times. They couldn't do X, Y, and Z, but they were moving the ball sometimes. I mean, they still can't stop the run, and it just looked very flat, our team. And as you can see, we're just diving into it. But you're right. There's not really any good to losing to a really poor Indiana team, then followed up by a really no. Hold on. Let me go back. There's nothing really good about really playing hard against one of the best teams in the nation.
In Ohio.
Going into losing at Indiana, but it's a away game. So, I was pissed, but I'll give them it. Then to losing to Northwestern at home, that's a hard pill to swallow. We are couch potatoes. And again, we could talk about dudes all day and coaching and all this. My rant is that, Hunter Wohler was quoted as, guys need to figure out if they want to be here. He's not putting any on the coaches, which is scary to me, right? That article I read is scary. I don't want players to be half 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And that breeds a lot of toxicity, and it breeds not playing 100%.
Yep.
By the way, if you look at the first half defensive line and the second half defensive line, those completely different guys. They were hungry in the second half. They were dominating the line of scrimmage. It's so bizarre to me.
The
It just
defense
doesn't
in the
make, I don't
second
get
half
it.
was really, really good. But the problem was that in the first half, I think the defense let up 10 for 10 third downs. They could not get off the field. And this is what happens when you don't have a pass rush. They have like the pass rush non-existent. Non-existent. The only guy I think who got a sack was Christian Allegro, the true freshman who should be playing more, honestly. He's fantastic, great athlete. He's a PG kid, which means he's a year older as he came in. He's already 19, 20. Like, I want to see more of him. He, if there's a good in this game, it's the second half defense and it's Allegro. But like the offense was sad.
It's not hey, listen, I'll give you another good. They scored on the first possession.
Yeah, they did.
It's like we're impossible to do that. But they're just like the Jets. They can't score touchdowns, and that's how you win football games is by scoring touchdowns. That's how you score points. Mm-hmm. There's only 3 ways to score, and that's one of them. I guess there's 4 if you count an extra point, field goal. What is it? And a safety.
There's like 6 ways to score. You can get a safety. You can get, defensive touchdowns, punt return, kick return.
But that's a touchdown. These are all touchdowns.
Touchdown.
You still got to score
safety,
touchdowns.
Field goal, extra point, two conversion.
Missing a field goal, like that killed us. Like that. Once that happened, I was like, oh man, dude, there was a play in the first, it must have been the first quarter. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, Hallman's 10 yards off. It's 3rd and 6. He's going to jump this hitch route. I'm like, it's coming. I see it. It's coming. And they threw the hitch route. It was a first down. And I was like, man, that could have been a touchdown for him. And I can't say that there's no one behind him. I don't also like that we're playing literally zero coverage, which no people to help. That's how we got hurt on that touchdown throw. Because there's just literally no one to help anybody.
Well, so you saw what happened. I think it was the first one or second one when there was no one near the guy. Like that was a clear point where
that was clear miscommunication. I'm talking about the second one.
Yeah, okay.
They both ran with it, but that's also so. I think what's frustrating is our attention to detail is lacking. But I think if I keep everything at the core of what Hunter Wohler was saying. Because that's proven fact. Like he said that out in the paper. It's not like we're saying anything new here.
No.
He said that dudes need to figure out if they want to be there. And if you aren't 100% invested, then you're not doing everything to 100%.
No.
You're not paying attention. You're not doing your responsibility. And the attention to detail on both sides of the ball is not good. Yeah. Anytime we had a drive going on offense, we had a penalty or something stupid happened.
More drop.
Or drop. I mean, we're not we like can't get out of our own way, and that is, as you can see, it's like frustrating. And like, do I know if guys don't want to be there? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Do I think that guys didn't want to be there when I was playing? Probably. I mean, you can't have 100 dudes who like are obsessed with Wisconsin the way I am. I mean, that's just not reality, right? The world, everyone has different opinions. Some people use football to go places. Some people use to get NFL. Some people just had a good time with it. Look at Johnny Manziel, just had a good time with it.
Yeah, some people use it as to get to college and get an education, and like there's a million different
they use
reasons.
it for right.
Yeah,
right.
And
so it's just frustrating. The whole entire, and then that to come out is frustrating. Listen, I'll still say I don't love throwing 2-yard passes. I don't love the play calling on offense. I
don't either.
I think on offense, we got in outside of our line, who has been definitely struggling, and struggles continue. I'm trying to be very nice, but outside of that, we still got good skill guys, and we not.
But we're dropping. I think we lead the nation in drops.
No, we do. We had 2 drops, right?
I think we lead the nation in drops and offensive line penalties. Like
100%. Well, we definitely lead the Big Ten and all that.
I feel bad doing this, but it's just a fact. Jack Nelson is the most penalized Power 5 offensive.
Did he have 3 penalties?
Player. He's the most penalized player in all of Power 5 football. Like
he has 3. He had 3 on Saturday.
Yeah, he's up to 13 on the season.
Oy. Allie, when we were sitting and watching, was like, "How many penalties do you have?" And I was like, I think 1. Yeah. I know 1 for sure. And then I did have a holding in Ohio State, but Donovan Raiola also had one, and they accepted his penalty. So I guess I got out of that one. But I literally think one, but I'm not sure. I can't guarantee that. So I don't want that to, that's not a. But for me, Coach White, this is what I love about him. If you ask the attention to detail, the mental part of the game was unfreaking believably taught all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't want to let a dude down. And we were 100% invested, not only in football, but within each other. There were games we were getting blown out. I know this, but we would, the pride you have to continue to fight was always there.
Mm-hmm.
It was always there. And some games you couldn't win. And then you bounce back. And there's not a lot of bounce back. You know what? You ever see the replacements? You ever see when they're talking, they're like quicksand? Like when John Wick's talking about quicksand. Keanu Reeves. I love him. One of the best actors of our entire lifetime. But he's talking about quicksand, and the harder you try to get out of it, the more you get into it. And I feel like that's been happening to our team as we are playing not to lose, and we're fighting that.
Yep.
And against Ohio State, when we had no chance, these dudes played. They competed. So that's frustrating to me. It's like, go out. If you don't enjoy football, why are you even playing football in general? Now, there are reasons. We just discussed them. But, man, it pains me to hear that, some dudes aren't 100%, just want to go out there and have a good time and try to dominate. And we made two teams look like they should win the West. And they should never even play football.
No.
Also, how crazy is it that their quarterback has played at 5 different universities?
Dude, he was originally committed to Wisconsin. He was originally committed to Wisconsin under Coach Christ. And then there was a thing about him either getting an offer or wanting to take a visit. Chris pulled the scholarship. He ends up going from Eastern Michigan to Cincinnati to Northwestern now. He's been on.
But he left and then came back to Cincinnati and then left.
It's wild. Ben Bryant has been on a college football journey. It's not.
And you can do it.
It's not JT Daniels, but it's
close. I mean, all these things. I mean, I'm interested to hear more about what you think, but it still pains me to see the third time we call a quarterback draw. Come on, dude. That's not. I understand it worked twice, but hey, that one, I'm I don't get it. We're not running Jackson Acre up the middle as much as I want. It's just these things. I don't know. We gotta call plays to people's strengths. And it just seems like we're trying to do too much. And
feels like a lot of square pegs and round holes offensively. A lot of square pegs and round holes.
And at the very end, Skylar Bell had 5 catches in a row, and he probably didn't have 15 yards. We just keep throwing these dinky dunk. That's not it. We still don't. We had a couple deep throws, but they're not competitive, right? They were deep overthrows. So you're not even potentially going to get a flag or potentially have your guy catch the ball.
And it's not like Tanner played a bad game. I don't think Tanner didn't play a terrible game. Now, yeah, he had 5.2 yards per attempt, which isn't great. But again, bunch of drops and stuff like that. My big thing is that where's Bryson Green? Can we throw the ball to Bryson Green more, please? Can we please throw the ball to Bryson Green more? Because to me, he is the most dangerous player on offense at this point with Braylon and Ches out. And I love Will Pauling. I think Will's great. He's getting plenty of balls. Get the freaking ball to Bryson, because he's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's physical. He is what we want in an X receiver. And I want him to get more targets because I think he is the biggest physical mismatch that we have left on this team, and it's driving me a little batty. It really is.
Well, the offense is driving, I think, everyone a little batty right now.
Well, and also what's starting Braylon, giving him 9 snaps? Either he's in or he's out.
And what's the point of him getting 3 carries to get hurt? Might could potentially, which he got
That's
hurt again.
my
So it's like,
point.
someone's got to be there. And because Braylon, he's sitting there and he's like, I want to play. I did this. I'm like, I want to play. I'm going to play. No one's telling me. People are like, no, you shouldn't. And I'm like, no, I'm going to play. Don't worry, I'm going to play. And so you play. But there's got to be someone who's like, listen, dude, we need you. Maybe not for this game.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be okay. I can understand both sides. It's very frustrating. But they said the Wildcats sat back in a cover 2. They had 2 deep the whole entire game. There has to be a cover 2 beater. I've coached high school football and we went over these plays. Throw some corner routes. Overload a side. Like cover 2 can't. They have a deep guy and a short guy. Like you could do this, but we're throwing dink and dunks and we're getting into third downs and we're never getting. We don't have enough plays. We don't have enough series where we have plays. We had the ball for like 10 minutes total in the first half.
It's like 3rd and 6 every time, and then you throw like a 2-yard swing pass to the running back, or a
5-yard pass. It's like, come on, man. Listen, I think Longo's trying to figure it out, and I think he looked a little frustrated on the sidelines. Tanner Mordecai might be seeing something, and he's throwing these shorter passes. But we really weren't as much as even the announcer said. He's like, the whole point of the air raid is to spread the field and use every inch. But we don't use every inch. We're not using 10 yards or more.
Well, and to me, again, like this is us couch potatoes. We don't know nearly as much as Phil Longo, and we never will. We don't know as much about offensive as any of these coaches. But here's the thing to me: if you're gonna spread out, I'm all of these formations, even when we've got 3-4 wide receivers, are all bunched up relatively close to the tackles. Literally spread them out. If you watch a Tennessee, they go to these super duper wide splits, and they're literally have to physically pull corners, DBs, whatever, out with them to the numbers towards the sidelines. What does that do? It opens up running in the middle, and I'm exasperated at this point, Bern. I'm exasperated. We've been talking with a lot of people, a lot of our friends, a lot of people that you guys have seen on this show before, a lot of people you haven't seen on the show before, about everything that is going on and what the problem is. And there's a variety of I guess not answers, but a variety of reasons from the Hunter Wooler was saying, the not giving enough of a damn and I think Tanner said that as well. Tanner Mordecai said this as well afterwards. This is the week where we figure out the give a bleep factor, and who really does. And I'm just like, how are we there as a program? Because this, if there's one thing that we could say about Wisconsin football for the past 30 years, is that no matter what, this team was going to play as hard as possible every single Saturday, no matter what.
And be prepared.
You never had to worry about the give a darn factor.
Right.
Attention athletes. Do you want a frictionless and tailored financial planning experience to secure your future? Well, look no further. Introducing Oakbridge Wealth Management, the premier financial planning firm for professional athletes. Led by wealth manager Chris Anicetti, our team provides a unique and comprehensive approach, ensuring your financial success both on and off the field. We understand the unique challenges you face as a professional athlete, from managing cash flow habits to planning major business purchases and navigating complex contracts. That's why we've developed a proven process, working closely with our strategic partners to provide seamless solutions for your unique financial journey. Our services evolve with your career, offering short, mid, and long-term goal setting, portfolio optimization, real estate investments, and more. As you transition to life beyond the field, we support you with career development and philanthropic ventures. But don't just take our word for it. Top NFL players like Chase Boulier, Tyler Biadasz, Alec Ingold, and more trust Oakbridge Wealth Management to guide them towards financial success. Troy Dye of the Minnesota Vikings says, "I really love the work that Chris and the rest of the Oakbridge group do. I especially like the honesty and transparency when it comes to setting up financial goals and plans that best fit my needs and situation. It's time to elevate your financial game plan. Connect with Chris on Instagram at OakbridgeWM_Anicete. That's OakbridgeWM_ANICETE. And join the winning team. Like, I don't know, Bernie, like, I hate to bring this up. You were on the the last team that didn't make a bowl game. What was the mood in the locker room that season?
Oh, the mood in the locker room.
Yes.
So during this, listen, we had good players, which is so weird. Yeah. We had all these studs on both sides of the ball.
You had Justin
AD,
Jefferson.
We had a sick line. Jason Jefferson.
Sorry. I'm
Jason.
Yeah.
Our D. Oh no, we had Jason was younger, but we had Wendell Bryant.
Bryant.
We were good. So here's what's interesting. I think when I was on scout team, we went hard. That's how OD and everyone said he ran over Mike Eccles, told us that story. The coaches were gassing us up because we weren't doing that well. But on the scout team, we weren't doing so bad sometimes. So that's, to me, that says we have some holes here and there. But we had guys who were good. I'll never say we didn't. We definitely did. I just think we had I don't think our defense was as good as it was in the following years. Obviously, it wasn't. And then, I think everyone was just young, and all the older guys were just, they were just older, and there was a big gap. Because then the next year it's Clinkscale, Dan Benning, Donovan, me. That's a whole new. AD was in his second year. These are young dudes, and then you had what's his name, Brooks Bollinger. But we got killed by some teams with good players.
Yeah.
What was his name from Michigan State? The back. He was awesome. Number 45. He was huge. TJ Duckett. We were lost to Minnesota with both those two guys, Marion Barber, and then the other dude was just
Lawrence Maroney and
Lawrence Maroney.
Barber.
We lost to Indiana that year at home. We got killed by them, and they had that guy, the running back, had 300 yards, but Randall L. killed us. We couldn't stop him. So, there was also dudes who were on other teams, even if they weren't good teams, who were just so but we never went to a game and at the end of it, people were pissed that we lost, but it was never a finger. We never pointed fingers.
Yeah.
Dudes knew that we all knew we were there. We were taking lumps together. We were getting beat up, but dude, the second we didn't go to a bowl game, that was the hardest offseason I think I've ever been a part of. Ever. That was my freshman offseason. So I don't know anything different besides we didn't make a bowl game. We lost. Did we lose the last game? We went 5-8, I think.
Yeah. Oh, because we won that year, I think.
No. That was the year before.
Oh.
I can't remember the last game. It definitely didn't matter because I think we ended up losing anyway. But we were 5-8, and the second, dude, this is December now. We're talking about because we went home for Thanksgiving because there was no game. Oh, we lost to Minnesota. No, that was in 03. I don't remember in 01 who we lost to. What happened? Doesn't, neither here nor there. I'm in the weight room.
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what.
Tell me what happened. I was a redshirt also.
You finished 5-7. You finished 5-7, including losing 4 of your last 5 to Illinois, Michigan State, Michigan, and Minnesota. Also lost to Indiana, Fresno State, and Oregon that year.
That's right. But we beat Virginia. Who do we beat?
You beat Virginia, Penn State, Western Kentucky, Ohio State, and Iowa.
We beat all
and Ohio State was ranked at that point.
So that's what's so frustrating is we weren't we were playing competitive against these teams. But so this to me would be exactly this team. But the difference is attitude and mentality, and nobody didn't want to be there. No one came out and said we got to find guys who want to be here. People are like, we should never let this happen again.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Detman walked into the weight room first week in December. It's finals week. So think about how important academics is.
Yep.
John Depp, people were like sitting, watching dudes, because you used to sit at other machines and watch guys on the platform. Not everyone could be there. He walked in and he was like, stopped dead in his tracks. And literally, I saw his head explode and he yelled it. He freaked out. And he's like, you guys, graphic language. And basically, I'll give you like the nice, he said, you'll never sit down in the weight room again. You will stand up the entire time. He said, if you yawn, you will do 25 push-ups, no matter where you are. And if anyone sees you, you have to do push-ups. And it was like, he's like, and we're not going to do 3 lifts, like in this time period. We're going back to lifting every day. You guys screwed this up and we're not going to let it. It's not going to fly. And you will know that this is not going to fly. Dude, we came back from winter break. And guys like to lift and work out, but not a lot. And it's only a couple weeks, maybe a month, actually. It was probably a little bit longer because we didn't go to a bowl game. And JD made us do shotgun. So like run 10 yards, maybe it's 15, and back 5 times until half the team was throwing up. A bunch of dudes were throwing up. And he's like, you guys better get your together because this is going to be a hard off season. And it was ruthless. And then we still went back and went 6-8, I think, or 6-7, 7-6. I don't know what it was, but like
it was 7-6.
7-6. Dude, the Big Ten was every team had players.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a horrible
2002. Like,
it was different.
The national championship that year, like
they won in 2002. Yeah, and
yeah,
put up a good fight against them.
Yeah,
but we lost. And never once did anyone point a finger saying you don't want to be here. Were guys just not held or good enough? Some guys were not, I don't know how to say this. Some guys were not either athletic or physical as others wanted them to be. They just weren't that type of person. But people would be on them all day. And they would, dude, you got, I don't know the word, I'm blanking on the word. You got the best out of people. No matter what that was, you got the best plus more out of dudes who probably could only give you 75%, and they give you 77. So, and maybe I'm also glorifying it because I'm 20 years out, and I just feel like, obviously everyone who feels like they played, it was the hardest time ever. But I think those excuses of we people didn't want to be there, and we were trying to find. I don't remember that ever happening. And I think searching inside of you to be a college football player, be a college athlete is something you have to do individually. But we're already at the end of our season almost. So like, if you didn't do this in the summer, what is the point of you going through all this hurt and this struggle and like all of this? Like, if I didn't want to play football, I would have hated to go through any of this stuff. And I don't think guys don't want to be there. I think our issue is dudes are trying to figure out like, hey, do I really want to do this offense? Like, I want to play football, but this offense to me isn't great. And then like, if you're not buying into it and going, putting all of your marbles behind it, it's going to be a struggle. And you're not going to be 100% on your slant route or concentrating on, I don't know, the pass block or something. I don't know. It's just, those things are it's just very interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't know. So we've got Nebraska this weekend. We've got us in the house. We've got in the axe after that, and here's the thing, they could win both of those games easily, right? Or they could get smoked in both of those games. This is genuinely like the first time in a very long time that like I don't feel confident going into a Nebraska game. I don't feel confident going into a Minnesota game. Even the games we've lost recently, like I've always felt confident going in. I don't feel confident right now. And that's really frustrating. Yes, there are like injury issues, especially on offense in the backfield. Like, I think what this season has proven is that actually Ches Malusi might have been the most important player on this offense.
I would say he's definitely up there. But I'd also say that just because we lost a running back and 2 guys pretty much, we have 7 wide receivers. Yeah. You don't think DK can line up in the backfield? Like, come on. Like, yes, we did lose one and two important pieces, probably the best guys on the offense. I'll say that for sure. But they'll play the same position. So they can, one of them, most likely one of them is going to be on the field at a time. But we have all these other guys who I think are pretty solid. So like we could mix it up. I think DK could do way more. And we're not giving him the ball that much. He's still hurt and he got hurt again.
Yeah,
totally. So. But if we want to get Pauling the ball and you want to get Green the ball and Williams the ball and some of our tight ends, that's a lot of dudes. We usually go 3 and out. So you can't get them the ball. Why not line Pauling up in the backfield? Or why not line, I don't know, anybody else up in the backfield? Like, you can do it.
Vinny Anthony.
But these things can happen, right? So, like, I think the offense should – even losing a player, you still got to score. There's still got to be a way to score points. Like, come on. You're telling me that Ches Malusi and Braylon are the only reason we can't score touchdowns?
Yeah, and you're telling me that like we can, like I'm surprised that we haven't like run a jet sweep basically all year. Like Vinny or Will Pauling, like one of those guys should be running a jet sweep at some point every game because they are fast and get them on the outside and the edge and they can do something. Especially Vin. I love Vinny Anthony, man. I love Vinny Anthony. I think that guy could be a really special player.
Yeah.
And it's. Dude, like we're just frustrated. Like we are very, very frustrated.
I think everyone's frustrated, right? Yeah. I think I'm sure the coaches are frustrated. I'm sure the players are frustrated. I mean, it has not been the hyped season that we all wanted. But I'm saying, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying if I'm one of the coaches, and it seems like from Mordecai and Wohler, what they're saying is, people are going to get the opportunity to play. And if you want to show that you want to be on that field, you better go out there and practice your butt off and just buy in. And hey, listen, if we can go to a bowl game, it's not the end of the world season. If we don't go to the bowl game, that's really not good. And we have one great opportunity in Nebraska to do it at home and one not so great to do at Minnesota. But they are both winnable games. One is for the Axe, but if you don't have buy-in and people don't know if they want to be there, that game's not important to you. To me, that game was like you will play with a broken back, neck, everything. But I'm a glorified, washed-up dude. But I think Nebraska's definitely doable. You tell me this better, but they're like not solid on any facet of the game. They're coming to us. It's a night game. You know, like we played Ohio State pretty solid. If we play that way, we're going to score 30 points. But I just want to see it. I just want to see people who want to be out there and who are going to have fun playing. And, you know, you got 2 more games and that's it. And some people will never play football again. And if I could give anyone I know we're way over, but if I can give anyone any advice, I'd give them a couple of things. I'd say to take school way more seriously. Do things that will push your boundaries, that will frustrate you, that you might not pass, but take those classes, right? Push through, get a D. Sounds terrible, but you will understand that you took a business class and it was the hardest class you've ever taken and you should have stuck. Stats 301. I thought it was impossible and I just dropped it. I should have pushed through. I should have busted my butt to do better. Now as an adult, I would do it. But as a student, I would say do those things, get multiple degrees. I mean, you only have this opportunity and the school's paying for it. It's kind of great. Take that dead serious. I would say run into the stadium and literally look around every single time you can, because you can only play a finite amount of years playing football. We're not all Jimmy Leonards or Joe Thomases, right? We're not going to play 10 years in the league. So your last game could be that play. You have no idea, right? So really take it in, man, and be proud of it. And also just go have fun. For me, the week was stressful because you're implementing game plans. You're practicing hard. You don't want to practice that hard, but you have to. You're working out. You're going to school. But by Friday, all that stuff is set. And as you know, a confident dude like myself, I knew what was going on. I knew what I had to look for. You know, you watch hours of film. You watch hours of, blitz packages. And the second you got on the field, it was time to unleash all the stuff all the getting yelled at and MF'd at practice and the weightlifting and getting screamed at and then trying to go to class and being cold on a scooter, like all those things that pissed you off in the week, you could just let it out. And in a confident, fast, violent way. And I would say a lot of dudes did that. And these guys can still do it. It's just it's the inner, like you step on that field and you're like, no one's going to take my lunch money on this field. And did some people take my lunch money? Sure. Like I wasn't perfect. I can tell you a couple of times that people took my lunch money. But the goal was to not always allow that to happen. And to strive to be, say, in the fourth quarter, these dudes are hitting me hard in the first quarter, but in the fourth quarter, I'm going to crush you. Like, I want your family to look at this and go, oh, man, this guy Matt Bernstein's bullying me today, bullying my kid on the field. Like, that's what I wanted. I would love to know how many penalties I had. I'm pretty sure it's only one.
I don't think we have stats going back for that. I'm sure I could, like, if I did like a real deep dive and had to go through the box score of every single game, like I might be able to figure it out.
It'll take forever.
Probably
Matt
not,
Perkins, do you know how many penalties I should have had? Probably 100. But like, you don't hold dudes when they're past you. Like, there's just things you learn what you can and can't do.
Yep.
And then you learn when somebody's pulling away, you just let them go. And then that is usually, dude, there was a play at Michigan State. I ran, I tripped. I saw my guy going to make the play, and I swung an arm out, tripped him so badly. And tripping is obviously illegal. And the announcer's like, man, Matt Bernstein with a great illegal block. What a good lead block. Like, it was hilarious because AD just walked in. This dude just fell down. It looked like he fell down, but I just literally stuck my arm between his legs and swiped his back leg out, and he just tripped. Now, that could have been a big-time penalty, but it wasn't. So, like, there's some give and takes, but this is Monday morning fullback rant by Matt Bernstein. Yep. Dear Santa, dear Hanukkah Harry, your favorite Hebrew hammer, please let us win against Nebraska and go to a bowl game. Please.
We're traveling this weekend for this. Like, please give us a win.
Can I just see one game in person as a win?
You haven't seen?
Do we rush the field?
Didn't you see a win earlier this year? Didn't you see one win earlier this year? I know you lost. I mean, you were at Ohio State. Oh, you were at Iowa too. Yeah, no. Oh boy.
I'm changing my socks. I'm changing my outfit. Like, nothing will be the same that I wear.
I'm really mad because I bought a new shirt when we were there for Squat Fest. It's like my favorite shirt I own now. Every time I wear it, Badgers lose. And it's
the same with these socks. I'm never wearing these socks again. It's gonna be warm there.
Is it?
Let's see. No, it's gonna be 49.
It's a night game. I think the low is like 36, 38, something like that. I think it'll be in the 40s.
It's 52. It's 60 on Thursday. Look at that.
Yeah, but Saturday.
It's sweating out there.
Saturday's gonna be a little bit different. I think Saturday it's like high of like 51 and like low of like 36. So we'll see. Hopefully that changes. It's a little bit warmer, but whatever. This is I think this is where we're gonna sign off on our Monday morning fullback rant of the day. We'll be back later this week with someone, who knows, but we'll probably be doing some more venting, and we'll talk a little Nebraska. We'll talk some big picture stuff. So it's been a tough one, Bern, but guess what? My mood is always improved when I get to see you.
Always. And still, I'm not giving up on these Badgers. So even if they lose out, I'm not giving up on them.
You're allowed to be frustrated and not say,
I'm sure everyone is.
Everything. I don't think they need to trash everything. I don't think Fickle is the wrong hire. I don't think that Longo is the wrong hire. I don't necessarily, but we can still be frustrated with the results. So with that, we're going to sign off today here on Monday Morning Fullback. Believe in Badgers, part of the Believe Network, presented by betonline.ag and Oakbridge Wealth Management. We'll see you later this week, and until next time, always on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.